Howdy folks, welcome back. It's been almost a year since my last video, and that was not the plan. I planned to make a video monthly, maybe sooner. Doing lots of fun things around here. Got lots of fun toys. Can't really see them, shop's a mess. But today, I'm gonna make a quick video to maybe help somebody who's fighting an automatic tool changer on an older Hurco mill. This is all pneumatically controlled. I would guess that most pneumatic automatic tool changers are very similar, so this might be applicable to a lot of things. But I want to say thank you to the 700 people at this point that have watched my last video of me making a coolant skimmer out of a bucket. That still works awesome, so let me know if anybody else has made it and that helped you out. So really cool that almost 200 people a month are watching that. At this point, I don't know if they're all bots or that many people want a cheap coolant skimmer, but hope it helps somebody at least. So, the way this works is there's a cylinder, right? I can't do this, I'm gonna turn it around. There's a cylinder up there that pushes this up and down. There are two racks here. The top one controls this from 0 to 60 degrees when it's in the upper position. Then when this arm goes down, it engages with the bottom rack, and when that rack extends towards me, it rotates it 180. And when that rack extends all the way, it pushes a plunger up that triggers this limit switch, and then the machine knows that the arm has gone down and rotated 180. So my issue was with an air valve that didn't exhaust the pressure after it closed. So when it closed, it didn't actually untrigger what it was triggering. So my machine told me that the arm had not gone back up, but it had gone back up. And I was very confused how it didn't know whether this was up or down. But now that I know that it doesn't actually register the vertical position of this arm, but rather whether this rack is fully extended or not, that makes a lot of sense. So, if you're having issues with air valves, if it's up and operating somewhat correctly, you've got your proper range on this 0 to 60, you just need to make sure that this rack is retracting when it goes up. And if it goes down when this rack is in the wrong position, it can get caught between places and you may not be able to get it to go back up, because I think it might have to be right at 60 degrees to go back up, or maybe just within this range. I got it to work and I didn't fully figure all that out. But if it's up, operating correctly, just make sure that rack is fully retracted and figure out what air issue you're having. If it's not doing that, just know that this limit switch reads this rack, and that limit switch is what reads on the control whether it's up or down. You might have to, if you can't get it to the right position to get it to go back up, you might have to lift that up and get that rack to move and re-engage it where you can spin it. I don't remember, maybe you can lift it up midway and then move it where it needs to be. But once you understand that top rack back is 0 degrees, that top rack forward is 60 degrees, bottom rack all the way extend does your 180 rotation, and this extended or not fully extended is this limit switch, which reads up or down. These limit switches, I don't know exactly which ones and how, but these read rotation. I think they only read rotation when it's in the up position, because I think whatever they read on probably moves. But I think these are just confirmation that it's either 60 or 0, so you don't crash the machine into it. And then if you do also have leaking air valves there, you might be able to order a small metric O-ring kit and fix them. But I tried that, I couldn't get the right O-rings, and I said, well, I'll just get new valves. And then I bought VM12 valves instead of VM13s, and the only difference is that they don't exhaust the pressure when they close. So they don't actually allow that bottom rack to retract when it goes back up, and then it gets confused. Fortunately, it doesn't hurt anything, but it won't do a complete tool change. But yeah, just look for a VM13. If you need to, if you can't get a VM13, you can get a VM12 and just drill a hole in the airline so that, but then it will leak anytime that valve is activated. So then, like I ran it for a while, it still leaks even after you change the valve, and that is super annoying. But anyways, that's it for that. If you're having trouble with a Hurco mill or a pneumatic ATC, well, I might not be help on any pneumatic ATC, but definitely if you got a pneumatic ATC on a Hurco mill, you can't figure it out, I will be happy to try to help you. So comment on this video, try to get on the phone with you. When I had this trouble, I talked to a couple of service techs, and it could have been me, but my communication skills, but they weren't able to explain how that works, and they weren't a lot of help. So eventually, I took this plate off, this plate with the set screw in it. I took it off, and I could see the rack, and then it made perfect sense. And then it worked, and I figured out how the valves were supposed to work. And yes, I know that after I switched the valves, and then it didn't work, I should have just said, obviously it's the valves, and spent more time on figuring those out. But I really want to understand how this ATC worked, so this perplexing limit switch issue led me to waste a bunch of time trying to figure out what was going on, and probably almost broke things in there. But that's how you learn. All's well. If that was helpful, awesome. Like, subscribe. I'll try to do some cool things that aren't so specific in the future, and a bunch of fun things going on here. Right now I'm tearing down this back room that used to be a second room to my office. So maybe we'll get another machine here. Kind of in the market for a Okuma vertical or maybe a welding robot. Kind of like to have both, but don't have space, so gonna have to do some strategic deciding there. But yeah, that's it. Shop's a mess, so I'm not gonna show you anymore, but take care. Hopefully I'll have something more for you soon. Thanks.